What's going on, everybody? Connor here from Hunting the Outdoors. So it's about a week since I've been back from my mule deer trip up in Idaho, and I've had a few people ask me kind of specifics on what stuff all I brought. When people saw pictures of how full my pack was, they were asking like, "Hey, man, did you actually use all the stuff you took, or did you end up taking more stuff than you needed?" The answer is, I pretty much used everything that I took, some form or fashion at some point in the trip. The only thing I did not end up using was my Goal Zero solar panel. One, just because we never needed it. Our battery banks never ran out of power. And two, we probably wouldn't have been able to use it just because of the snowfall and how cloudy it was. So I decided to make a video just on like a gear dump on what I took to Idaho for my 2021 mule deer trip. All right, so I'll start off with the clothing that I took and just kind of that general way, and we'll just work our way around the table, I guess. So I took a rain jacket, which ended up being my snow jacket, to keep all my underlayers dry. I think it's just like a Columbia, yeah, it's just a Columbia rain jacket that has a hood, dual purpose. Kept my layers dry. These are my, I think, Cabela's brand rain pants, but again, they just doubled down as keeping my pants dry, and kept me from getting wet and cold. So both of those were worn after the Monday that it snowed pretty heavily overnight, down to about 7 inches. So we'll start with base layer. These are the Kuiu, I think 145 merino wool. They're zip off long johns, which were extremely clutch for daily use. Easy vents on the legs. So those were really nice. I really enjoyed bringing those with me. For the warmer stuff, I brought my First Light furnace base layer or mid layer, or however you want to wear them. I slept in them every night just to keep my legs warm. They are a phenomenal tool, and then I ended up wearing them during the day Monday and Tuesday, or just Monday maybe, I can't remember, just because of how cold it was outside. I just kept my legs warm. Obviously I took some compression shorts. I think I took 2 pairs of those, and I took 3 pairs of these Smart Wool cushion socks. They were great. I think I got them at Dillard's for probably $20 a pair. Just easy pickups. So next, let's see, my Talus First Light fingerless gloves. I wore those every day, pretty much all day long. Never really took them off, I don't think, just because it kept my hands warm for the most part, all the time. Those are great. And then I had my my one still standing Alpine cold weather or Alpine cold gear gloves, insulated with merino wool on the inside. These were fantastic. I actually ended up losing one of them while we were on the trip, so I gotta figure out something. Probably gonna have to end up buying a whole nother pair, but these are phenomenal. And they fit right over these Talus fingerless gloves whenever we were sitting in glassing. Okay, pants wise, these are the Corget, just not the Foundry pants, which I wish I would have bought the Foundry pants that had the side zips or the hip vents, just because it would have made zipping off or unzipping slightly to cool the Corget or the Kuiu zip off long johns that I had. But these worked great because a lot of the terrain we walked through was pretty real dead pines, real sharp branches, stuff like that. So these were phenomenal. Legs never really got cold just because the base layers that I had were, good. So I think if I would have taken the Catalyst or, let's say, on the Obsidians, I think I would have got too hot. This is the Killen, I think it's like a 125, or no, Killing 250 beanie. Great, never left my head. Except whenever I put this thing on, whenever I would glass or the snow was picking up. This is the Cold River face mask that I took as well. Wore it a few times whenever the snow was coming down pretty heavy, just to keep the wind off my cheeks and from getting windburn. So those were pretty essential. I hung up the rest of my stuff, so it's all on hangers. These are the First Light Bramble or Brambler Gators. They were tanks out there. We walked through a creek twice and kept the bottom of my pant leg dry. You know, kept my pants from snagging on stuff. As you can tell, they're still dirty and I haven't even washed them. I beat the hell out of these things in the backcountry, but yeah, they did their job and they're well worth the money. I would say, 10 out of 10 rating. I put them through rough stuff, wet environment, just beat the living hell out of them. So these are definitely worth the money in the long run. Take care of your pants and your boots. Let's see here. This is my Killing hoodie that I brought. It's a mid layer. You can wear it as a base layer. I wore it as a mid layer. It's a 250 merino wool hoodie with the thumb holes, kind of keep your lower hand warm. This was pretty clutch. So that was a good mid layer. On days that, the few times that it wasn't too cold outside, I just wore that as my outer layer. This is the Corget guide jacket or whatever they call it. Ripstop or full-way rip material. Did its job keeping my merino layers safe and without tearing holes in them. And I also put it over my Uncompadre I think it's synthetic. Yeah, it's a synthetic jacket. This thing's super warm. I was glad that I brought this, just because 90% of the time I was wearing it because we were just sitting around glassing and not moving a whole bunch. So this was clutch. It also kept my cousin alive Monday night when it dropped down like 10 degrees. And I actually melted part of the sleeve. I was sitting too close to the fire and it's all kind of like ruffled up, but does not affect it whatsoever. This was a good piece. A lot of people said that they take the, what do they call it, the down sweater or whatever it is, but that worked fine for me. And then never took this bad boy off. This is the Wick tee. It's just a t-shirt. Breathed extremely well. Got the job done. So that was my layering system of clothes, and now we can just start on the rest of the gear and go from there. So we can start from here, the outermost stuff, my pack system. I took it apart because I washed it. It had blood all over it. It's a mule deer. This is the Kuiu tall frame. So I'm about 6'3", and I think I have the large XL harness on it. Packed out my mule deer, worked phenomenal, and hauled in about 60 pounds worth of stuff in my pack very comfortably. So I would highly recommend them. I know there are other brands out there that make just as good stuff, if not better, but I've never used them. So my recommendation is with this pack brand because it's the only one I've used. The pack I used was their Pro LT 5500. It's got a front pocket and it's got another little pocket inside of here. It has a pocket that runs the length of this front part of the bag that I kept most of my rain gear in and my insulated gloves. And it's got a side zipper over here that allows you into the main hull of the pack without having to come in through the top. I wish, though, my only complaint is I wish it was a horseshoe zipper but it's not, so you know, it is what it is. It's got two other little compartments on the inside that have zippers as well that you can put stuff. I didn't use them just because my pack was so full. But then, you know, like the rest of their packs, cinches down from the top. It's got two little cinch scrunchies right there, so you can tighten it down. Pack was phenomenal. After I dumped all of my gear, I was able to tighten it down and use it as my day pack, carry all my stuff. So pack was great, no complaints there whatsoever. Okay, next on the list is electronics. I took some Walmart brand battery bank. I think it was like 25,000 megahertz per hour or mega amps per hour, whatever, however it's measured. And it worked phenomenal. I think it only cost me 25 bucks, and it, I think it charged my phone 3 times and the GoPro once, and the one time I was able to use it, you know, kind of took a shit. But that's what I took. And I also brought this Goal Zero, let's see here, solar panel, and it also came with this little portable charger as well. Never, like I said, was able to use it just because of, you know, my battery bank never ran out of charge, and it was too cloudy and snowy, so we never really would have probably been able to effectively use it. So that stayed in the tent inside of this Sea to Summit dry bag. I kept the rest of my batteries in. These are my trekking poles. They are Sierra Design. I think I bought them at Target. Everyone told me, you know, all these other companies, oh, you know, man, you got to buy good poles. You got to spend $100, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you right now, I spent $35, and these things held up all of my body weight, which was about 220 pounds, all the weight in my pack, and then also all the weight pulling down that mule deer off the mountain, and also helped me scale the mountainsides while it was super snowy outside. So if you can get your hand on a pair of these bad boys from Target or off of their website, I guess, they're worth it, and they work, and they're very stable. So save some money there, get you some good poles, but don't break the bank as well. Some kind of miscellaneous stuff. We took dude wipes with us on the trip. We took their shower wipes and just regular butt wipes. Shower wipes were great. They were big, you know, kind of thicker than a normal butt wipe is. But the regular butt wipes, to be honest, we were disappointed. And it would take you like 8 or 9 wipies just to clean yourself. And, you know, when it's 20 degrees outside and you're sitting on a frozen log, you don't want to be there any longer than you have to be. So we were kind of disappointed in that, but all in all, you know, it still worked, and you know, we were still able to do our business. Toiletries, everyone knows that stuff. My buddy Gavin, so this tape, my buddy Gavin was the one that told me about it. Luco, I don't know how to say the brand name. Basically, it's like a adhesive tape, and I use it to wrap around my big toe and on the backside of my heel before we packed in, and it stayed stuck the entire trip. And I just put it on there kind of as a precautionary, 4 blisters, you know, just kind of thinking ahead. I'd rather have it on there and not need it than need it and not have it on there. So that was a good pickup. Thanks to Gavin for telling me about this stuff. Let's see here. Hand warmers. Took hot hands. Took a shit ton of those. They were nice in the evening time. Craft one. Throw it 1 or 2 in the bottom of your sleeping bag. Just kind of keep your feet. I didn't sleep with socks on just because I have a 0-degree rated bag. But you know, just keep your toes kind of, you know, nice and toasty, and it was just, you know, a luxury that we took up on the mountain with us. Okay, let's talk about the boots I took. These are my Loa Renegade GTXs, and they were freaking troopers. They did their job. They kept my feet dry, feet comfortable. I actually melted, maybe you'll see, like right there on the edge. I melted part of the trim one afternoon trying to just kind of warm my feet up. I will say the only thing that I wish I would have done, I wish I would have got some boots that were a little more insulated. Not necessarily a lot more, but just a little bit more. But these boots were great. Tread was phenomenal. The Gore-Tex worked great, especially paired with my gaiters. Feet never got wet, pants never got wet, nothing like that. Great boots, especially for the price point. I think I got them for like $240, something like that, $230. So check those out. Those are, you know, kind of sleeper brand boots. All right, let's talk about sleeping real quick before we get more into this stuff. So this is my sleeping bag that I took. It's a Marmot bag. It's the Trestles Elite Eco 0 degree rated mummy bag. Worked great. I think it's the wide one. Just because I wanted a little bit more wiggle room in there and didn't want to have to worry about, you know, waking up and feeling like super claustrophobic in it. So the bag worked great. It dropped down to about 10 degrees one evening and I was fine. My cousin, on the other hand, had to come over into my tent and bring all his stuff because he was about to freeze to death. So sleeping bag worked great. Was a great buy. I also took a Marmot tent, the Limelight 2-person. Took me about 5 minutes to put up, if that. Worked great, held up in all the snow. Never a single problem. Never had a problem with the wind or anything like that. So tent was solid. Let's see what I'm forgetting here before we move on. I don't think anything else. As we can talk about this stuff here. This is the Climate Static V. It was my sleeping pad. I mean, other than the fact that I slid on it, or I slid off of it, because my tent was kind of on a slope, didn't really get to experience it much just because, I don't know, I slid off of it and I kind of got pissed and would just kind of sling it around. I bought the Climate XL pillow. It was great, worked phenomenal, kept my head off the ground. You know, it was nice. Like I said, it's just kind of a luxury thing, but it was nice to have brought along. Cook system was, I think Darren shared this with me. It was Optimus Terra is the brand, and we took some Coleman isobutane to burn. It worked great. So, I mean, yeah, it took a little bit longer to boil than probably your jet boil does, or, you know, whatever else you use, but I believe I got the setup. Came with the burner, an extra cup, and then the big cup that I believe held a whole liter of water in it for maybe like $75. So it was a pretty good deal. Worked great. Helped us boil a lot of snow down or melt it down to be able to filter out in camp, so I'm going to walk down to our next water source, which is the river at the bottom of the mountain, which I guess we can talk about water now. So this is a water bottle I took, some brand I bought from Walmart, Bubba. It was a 40 ounce water bottle, and it was nice because it made drinking water way easier. Being able to carry around a lot more of it at one time instead of having to do like 20 ounces at a time was nice. Originally, I took a Life Straw filter that hooked up to the inside of this and allowed me to just scoop up water from the river. But I'll tell you this, after the first day, I absolutely hated it. Not saying it didn't work, just saying that for the use that we were using it for, man, it's like sucking a bowling ball through a watering hose. It took forever to get water through it. You know, your cheeks would start to hurt from having to suck on the mouthpiece so hard that I ended up saying just screw it. I took it off, and then I used my Sawyer Squeeze. It comes with two 64-ounce bags and like a 15-ounce bag or 16-ounce bag, and this thing was a charm. This thing worked great. You just pour water into the bag, screw this onto it, and literally just squeeze the bag, and you have instant purified water. So I would just fill this thing up with this, and then dump my liquid IV packets into it, and go from there. And it you know, this thing was phenomenal. If you don't already have one, or you know you're looking for another filtration system, this bad boy right here, I think it was $40 shipped to me, and it was great and super packable. So loved that thing. Yeah, I can't say anything else about that. It worked great. Let's get over here. Got some lights. This is the Black Diamond Storm headlamp that I took. Can't remember exactly how many lumens. You can adjust it actually. It has red, green, blue lights on it. A strobe for emergencies or signaling. I don't think I ever had to use it, just because we didn't do a whole lot of moving at night. Just because it got too daggum cold and we knew better than than to get stuck out somewhere at night. This was a little light that I took with me to put inside my tent, and it works as a lantern. It's got 3, bright, low, strobe. And you can use it as a flashlight. Don't ask me where I bought it. Couldn't tell you. I have no idea. It's a good little thing. It's got a magnet on top. I just hooked it right on the top of my tent and did the job. We brought some glow sticks. I think we brought 12 of them, just in case, like in our little emergency pack, just in case something happened. We needed to crack some to be able to find our way back. Like if someone got hurt, we need to be able to find our way back to the exact point of where they were at. We never know what could have happened. We'd never been before, so better safe than sorry. This was a bag that I brought that had some just kind of miscellaneous stuff in it. I brought some dryer lint to help start fires pretty fast. Coglins fire paste, again another fire accelerant, just in case we needed to. And I brought some extra filters for that live straw filter that I never really ended up using just because I hated it and took it off. Brought a multi-tool just in case something broke or we needed to, like I said, we used it a couple times just for kind of small things here and there. But I guess we can look at food. All right, so the way I did my food every day was I vacuum sealed it at my dad's house. Everything together, breakfast, dinner, and all my snacks. That way I could reach in our food bag hung up in the tree and know, hey, I'm gonna pull one of these out and it's a whole day's worth of food. So made getting stuff pretty easy. I ended up taking about 31 to 3,300 calories a day, just because that was like the recommended amount. And you can find like more on that information from the Kafaru YouTube page. They have a whole video on recommended calories per day, good ways to package your stuff down. Like with my dinners and my breakfast, I took them out of the original package and put them in these little quart-sized Ziploc baggies. It just made it easier to package, easier to pack down instead of the big bulky bags that a lot of the foods come in. And it burned real easily. So, we didn't have any kind of trash coming back, because whenever you get done, you just chunk it in the fire. But, I have a breakfast, a dinner. I usually write on them about how long I had to cook them, just because each one's, different in a little bit of way. All of those were Backpackers Pantry brand breakfasts and dinners. I took 3 of the chicken pad thais just because super phenomenal, and lactose intolerant, so my selection on any kind of dehydrated food is very, very minimal. But as far as snacks went, I usually tried to have, I don't remember the specific brand, but 2 servings worth of gummy bears a day, which was a good amount of calories. 2 servings of beef jerky. These vegan cookies that were super high in calories. They were actually surprisingly good. I thought they were gonna taste like just crap, but they were pretty good, especially on the mountainside. And then these Skippy peanut butter packets. These are about 200 calories a piece. So this was easy 400 calories a day. you know, right off the bat. So that was food. I also mixed a serving of bare naked granola into my oatmeal every morning, just to add about another, I think it was 150 calories to it. So, you know, if you have any other like questions about food and stuff like that, the Kafaru YouTube page has a great video on all that kind of stuff. So you can check that out over there on their page. I think that's just about it. We can get into optics and glass stuff next. All right, so I took the Vortex Bino Pack. I actually want to get a new Bino harness. I want to get a new one, just, you know, something a little more comfortable and that is compatible with the rangefinder. Because with your binos in them, it's hard to put your rangefinder in these little pockets. So looking at getting a new bino harness. If anybody has any good recommendations that, you know, like I said, has a harness that I can hook a rangefinder pouch to, that'd be great. I took my Ride-On Optics 10x42 binos with me. Work great, super compact. They're actually too small, or well, they're small inside of that Vortex bino harness. Yeah, those work great. Took my Vortex, I think it's a Razor. Yeah, Vortex Razor 16 by 48 by 65 spotted scope. Tyler used this mainly, and we actually broke off the tripod quick detach piece. He would hook it up to his like his walking stick that had an attachment on it, and then sit and use it to glass. And Monday, I think it was, he slipped and fell and bumped it. When he did, it broke that piece off of the stick and left it in here. So I actually just took it off not but 30 minutes ago with a pair of channel lock pliers. This bad boy worked great. Stuck a wool sock over it to keep it protected in my pack, and you know, super lightweight. It's definitely one of their you know, more packable and more hunter friendly spotting scopes than the rest of their stuff is. So rifle cover, this was gifted to me by a friend that I met through social media. Worked great, covered all my stuff, especially walking through all those you know, timber that had all the snow on it. Let's see, last but not least, this is the rifle I took. This is a Savage Axis 270. It's not one of their upgraded ones, just a base rifle my dad gave to me. 270, like I said. It's got, I think, a 6-pound trigger, 5-pound trigger, I don't know. It's pretty heavy, but get the job done. The scope I ran on it was the Ride-On Optic X5 Primal 3x18x44. Obviously got the job done. I've been using a lot of their product, working with them. Love their stuff. Waiting for them to put out a spotting scope, maybe a rangefinder here pretty soon. That'd be nice. But yeah, strapped that bad boy to the side of the pack and we went going. I can't think of anything else that we took that we ended up using. Took this carabiner, hooked it to the outside of my pack, and I brought 500 feet of paracord. We used one of them. We didn't use this one, but we used one of them to pull our food bag up at night into the tree. So yeah, that's all the gear I took. And you know, I took some NyQuil, or I'm sorry, I took Dayquil, Tylenol, Aleve PM, and a multivitamin that I would take every morning just to kind of, you know, keep the body functioning, especially being in a new environment. I didn't know how I was going to react to the pine trees or any kind of vegetation out there, and definitely was not trying to be stopped up and, you know, gross. So yeah, I think that's all in the gear that I took. You know, it all fit in that pack. I know it looked full, and people ask like, "Oh man, you know, did you use everything you took?" And the answer is yeah. I did. I used pretty much all of it for the most part every day. And, you know, it is what it is, especially whenever you just hunt out of a bivvy camp. You don't go back to the truck or, to a main camp anywhere where you can just leave all this stuff next to your truck or whatever you took in. So, if you got any more questions or anything like that, or you have any recommendations, feel free to shoot me a message over on Instagram, or you can leave a comment here in the comment section. But that's it. Yeah, that's everything I took to Idaho with me. I'm gearing up in 2 weeks here in Texas. Opening weekend starts. So super excited about that. Gonna get out there with my buddy Justin, who lives in Copper's Cove, and try to hammer a pair of bucks. So that's all I got for us today. Thanks for watching the video. And like I said, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask or shoot me an email. I think my email is in my Instagram bio. And that's all I got. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and also go over and watch and check out my 2021 Idaho mule deer trip video that I just put up about 2 days ago. It's doing phenomenal with the YouTube algorithm, and we're super happy about that. So, thanks for watching.